Just before I go, and here is my final word, everyone, and it's directly to Mr. President. And I hope it's not too late to tell him a happy new year. And I'm hoping it's a new year, new Nigeria. There are a lot of people who say, new year, new me. Hoping it's a new year, new president, new Nigeria. Well, Mr. President, Nigerians are watching. They are counting the months, the weeks, and the days. And in 4 short months, your administration will enter its second year. A pivotal milestone where patience gives way to accountability. You campaign on the promises of renewed hope, better security, abundant food supply, and policies that should lift millions from hardship and poverty. Yet, after a year marred by soaring tariffs, crippling energy costs, and dwindling purchasing power, millions of Nigerians are grappling with unprecedented hardship. The question that echoes across the land is, where is the light at the end of the tunnel? But I hope everyone might want to start afresh with a renewed vigor and hope that 2025 will be a better year. You assured Nigerians that this pain is a prelude to progress, a difficult but necessary phase that would yield joy and prosperity. And Nigerians, resilient as ever, they've kept faith with you and in your words. But faith, Mr. President, is not infinite. Time is your most fleeting asset, and it is slipping away. As you approach the halfway mark of your 4-year term, it is clear the clock is not on your side any longer. The policies you've introduced require visible results. The people demand proof that their sacrifices will not be in vain. President Tinubu, Nigerians understand that you are not a magician, but he elected you with a hope that your policies would bring relief, not amplify their sufferings. Today, they are grappling with soaring inflation driven by the removal of fuel subsidies, skyrocketing food prices that have left over 30 million citizens at risk of hunger, and a naira devaluation that has crippled purchasing power. Transportation costs are at an all-time high. Businesses are struggling under regulatory uncertainties, and public outrage is mounting over government spending on luxury items while many live in abject poverty. Nigerians are not asking for miracles. They are asking for focus, action, and empathy. Fix at least 3 issues that directly impact the survivor. Stabilize food prices, make transportation affordable, and reduce inflation. You must assemble the best minds, regardless of region or allegiance, to tackle these challenges. Time is not on your side, Mr. President. Nigerians need urgent results, and they are watching. This new year offers you a fresh opportunity to reset, to lead with empathy, and to demonstrate that you truly mean well for the Nigerian people. Reduce the cost of governance, lead by example, and show Nigerians that sacrifice begins at the very top. Our leaders cannot luxuriate in opulence while citizens languish in poverty. This is a time for decisive, transformative action. Nigerians deserve a leader who is firm yet compassionate, bold yet introspective, and unwavering in his commitment to deliver the better Nigeria he promised. History is calling, Mr. President, and so are the people of Nigeria. As the media, we pledge to hold you accountable, to amplify the voices of the voiceless, and to demand justice for every Nigerian struggling to breathe under the weight of economic hardship. The sands of time are shifting. President Bola Tinubu, will you write your name in gold?
The president, his team, or his supporters can keep lying to themselves or maybe to some gullible Nigerians about the state of the nation, about the state of the economy. They can keep lying through their teeth that the economy is rebounding, that Nigerians are beginning to experience good dividends of democracy under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But the reality on ground, we always say otherwise. And the reality on ground is, this is the worst administration in the history of this country. I am happy that people are not silent. People are not cowed to believe the lies that the president and his handlers are dishing out to Nigerians regarding the state of the nation. Whatever people are saying out there regarding the state of the nation, you need to realize that it is worse out there. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. You need to understand what it means for a country to be the poverty capital of the world. It means that her leaders have failed the citizens. It means that the economy is the weakest in the world. It means that her people can no longer feed herself anymore. I hear some person say that God is punishing Nigerians, and I ask, punishing Nigerians for what exactly? What exactly did Nigerians do to attract this level of punishment on themselves? God is not punishing Nigerians. Nigerians are punishing themselves. Nigerians attracted this level of hardship, this level of punishment upon themselves. Whatever is happening to Nigeria is not a repercussion from the divinity. It is as a result of bad leadership. You need to understand how poor and bad our leadership has become. You need to understand how deplorable our country has become. Nigeria has gone to the wolves. Nigeria is so bad. I am trying to look for the right words to describe Nigeria so far, because right now the state of the nation is so bad, it's so worse, it's beyond worse. I repeatedly use the word worse because I took time to study other African countries, and I noticed that Nigeria is behind the pecking order in comparison with other African countries. You need to understand that Nigeria used to be called the giant of Africa before, not because of our population, but because of our wealth. Nigeria has so much money that Nigeria was using her own money to liberate other African countries from colonial rule. Nigeria was using her own money to fight terrorists in other African countries. Nigeria was sending her own troops to go to other African countries to go and restore peace and order. Nigerian military used to be the best military in Africa. Nigeria currency used to be the best currency in Africa. At a point, Nigerian currency was better than the US dollars. But today, everything that Nigeria had that made her to be called a giant of Africa is no more. Other African country that Nigeria used to be better off than is now better off than Nigeria. Why? Because they were able to structure their leadership. They were able to reposition their leadership. They were able to put the best people forward to lead their country. Leadership is everything. What Nigeria is suffering today is not as a result of divinity cause, but as a result of poor leadership. What most of you know is that Nigeria used to be the biggest economy in Africa, but currently Nigeria is 5th as the biggest economy in Africa. In 2015, before APC took over power from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, our GDP was over $500 billion, but today our GDP is below $200 billion. Before APC took over power, Nigeria was rated as the biggest economy in Africa and the 3rd fastest growing economy in the world, alongside China, India, and Dubai. But today, Nigeria is the 5th biggest economy in Africa, a country of over 218 million persons. When you look at the top 5 biggest economy in Africa, in number 1 is South Africa, sitting at $403 billion. With this GDP, South Africa is nowhere near where Nigeria used to be in 2015 in terms of GDP. That means if Nigeria has been allowed to continue in the level of growth that Nigeria was experiencing under President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Nigeria would have become a $1 trillion economy. That was not allowed to happen because some misguided elements allow incompetent leaders to take over the political structure of this country, and they destroy the economy of this country, thereby destroying their own life. Second on the list on the biggest economy in Africa is Egypt. Now you need to understand something about Egypt. In 2013, Egypt was experiencing high inflation, poor economy, bad leadership in every phase of their life. But what did they do? The Egyptians went on the street and protested. They overthrew the government of Mohamed Morsi, a democratically elected government. And then so many persons died. This prompted the military to take over. The military head was led by Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. He took over the leadership structure in Egypt in 2014, and he has been their leader till date. Abdel Fattah changed the leadership structure of Egypt and put Egypt on the pedestal of growth. Today, Egypt is rated as the 2nd biggest economy in Africa. Leadership is everything. In the 70s, Nigeria's biggest and robust economy also come with a good minimum wage. Nigeria minimum wage used to be the best in Africa. Today, Nigeria is not even among the top 15 best minimum wage in Africa. The government said that they've increased the minimum wage to 70,000 naira. This would have put Nigeria minimum wage at $40, but our minimum wage is still 33,000 naira, which puts Nigeria minimum wage at $21. With $21, Gambia at $23, Eritrea at $24 are sitting well above Nigeria in terms of the minimum wage ranking in Africa. Every one of us in this country should hide our head in shame. According to report, Nigeria is on the 4th place in terms of inflation rate in Africa. South Sudan is rated number 1 with 107%, while Nigeria is rated at number 4 with 32.7%. You can make an excuse for South Sudan because ever since that country got her independence, she has been fighting endless civil war. But we have no excuse for Nigeria, because even the 32% that Nigeria is being reported at, we all know that Nigeria inflation rate is worse than 32%. It is beyond 200%. For instance, the price of a bag of rice jumped from 40,000 naira in 2023 to 102,000 naira in 2024. That is over a 155% inflation rise. There are many other commodities in this country that has done 200% rise in Nigeria. We all know that Tinubu government is falsifying data and lying with figures. A government that can factor in prostitution, drug peddling as a source of income just to reduce the number of poor people in this country can lie with any form of data. I can go on and on to show you how Nigeria has gone down the pecking order in comparison with other African countries. Many African countries have gone ahead of Nigeria to develop their country, whereas Nigeria keep going down the drain. We must understand the desperate situation we are. We must understand how bad our government has become. We must understand how poor our economy has become for us to know that we need to hold these people accountable. It shouldn't be left to people like Seun to speak out. Everywhere many Nigerians need to hold Bola Ahmed Tinubu accountable, because they are ruining our life. They are ruining this country. The economy is worse than it is being reported. Nigerians are poorer than it is being reported. The price of commodities in the market is higher than it is being reported. Things are bad in this country, and we must say the truth as it is. The people bearing the brunt of these harsh economic realities are not the politicians. We the people are the ones that are bearing the brunt of Bola Ahmed Tinubu bad economic policies. But yet, we the same people that are bearing this brunt are the ones defending Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Sometimes it beats my imagination and I ask, the people supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what exactly are you supporting him for? What exactly are you hailing him for? The price of fuel dropped from 1,200 naira to 990 naira, and some persons were praising the president for reducing the price of fuel. Reducing the price of fuel from where to where? When Tinubu came in as the president, the price of fuel was being sold for 160 something naira, but today we are buying fuel for 1,000 naira. And some persons are praising the president for a 20 naira reduction in the price of fuel. Come on, Nigerians, we need to do better. We need to do better for this country. We are not slaves in this country. We are free-born, free minds. We should not be in love with our chains. Even if you are in love with your chains, you need to realize that it's time to let go of your chains. See beyond partisan politics. See beyond tribal politics. See beyond political politics. See patriotism. Love your country. Ensure only the right people are voted into office. Hold your leaders accountable. Any leader, any political party that fail to deliver on the good dividends of democracy, hold grudges against such party and persons, vote them out. It is your right. It is your future. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.